They flew. They're smart. You see, they fly. They're smart enough to fly, not like the idiot who drives. But I don't particularly like getting in planes, and I really don't like getting in planes in the holiday season. I just
When the pressure's on and the air traffic controllers have been overworked and now they're resuming their duties and getting paid, but there was no time off, no catch up, no 2 weeks off to recover.
yeah, and it's holiday party season, and I don't know. I'm thinking if you have a job like an air traffic controller, you're probably partying pretty hard. You're making some coin. I know you get drug tested, so I guess you can't smoke pot or do drugs, but so you make up for it with alcohol because, of course, alcohol is a perfectly legal a drug that causes more deaths in the United States than
And then
probably
somewhat,
anything else.
maybe they could use that as an example to discourage air traffic controllers from like having a martini before their shift or time for a break. I think I'll
Yeah.
have a couple shooters.
Or, you also start to think that maybe you want those guys loose.
So they can.
Control
But
what they're going to control. I
it's
mean,
so hard to maintain the proper looseness without getting a little too loose or
yeah.
getting or that wind down from having been loose. No, I'm not loose anymore.
Yeah. So I always do my best to avoid the whole rigmarole of holiday travel by air. Um, I have done it by train. By the way, we are on the air, and he's Michael Knight. I'm New York Vinnie, and this is Mikey and Vinnie on a Wednesday morning.
You'll never guess how I came up with the name, Mikey and Vinny.
How did we come up with that name?
Well, your name was Vinny, right?
Yeah, and your name was Michael, but we want, with the Mikey, I guess,
Yeah.
because many people would ask us, "How's Mikey?" As a matter of fact, I met somebody just yesterday. I went to a little Monday actually. I went to a little Thanksgiving gathering, and somebody asked me, and it's a very popular question I get, as to whatever happened to Michael Knight.
Well, no, that's a long answer.
Well, depending on who is asking me the question, I give them, there's this 3 or 4 different answers. None of them involve death, though. I never told anybody that you died.
That's fair.
A popular one is that you were elected to Congress and we never saw you again. From Southern California, you were in the district right next to what's this guy that used to McCarthy. So
Kevin McCarthy.
Saw you again. You went to Congress and you've been just sitting there waiting for something to happen.
Nothing ever happened, but I do have a nice seat.
Got elected 3 times, reelected, but just
No avail.
walked in the booth. They saw the name Knight and they said, "Okay, go ahead, knock it out, knock them out. You're doing a fine job. We never hear from you."
Have a wonderful time in Washington.
Yeah, once a year you send out a Christmas card to all the Jewish people in your district, and a Hanukkah card to all the Catholic people in your district and Protestants.
Seems fair.
To try to, and that's your part toward putting people together, letting other people see how the other people live.
In case you're ever in Congress and accused of something that would get you executed, then you know what it's like to be in my shoes, to be threatened by the president and to be put in line for execution.
Why should they be different than anybody else? I mean, he's threatened everybody. I mean, he's threatened broadcasters. He's threatened federal workers. He's threatened aid people. He's threatened disabled people. He's threatened poor people.
He's threatened to destroy the Department of Education.
Yeah, he's threatening to, which of course, looking at him, he does make a good case for why. Why do we have it? What's the purpose? If this is what we're
Why,
turning out,
if this is the best we can do for a president, where
right?
have we gone wrong?
If this is the president, maybe we should destroy the Department of Education. Maybe we ought to give parents, $10,000 and educate your kids. Go buy them some books, and don't bother us. We got money to steal. So I don't know, but
Maybe maybe you'd like to know more about my cryptocurrency company.
uh, well, I personally don't want to know anything from Trump. I'm of the mind that he is one of those people that are going to get away with just about anything. He's gonna rob the country of whatever him and his and Uday and Kusei and company can steal from whoever they can steal it from, and he'll drop dead probably before the end of his term, and we'll see. We'll get a chance to see JD Vance try to do what Trump has done, but JD Vance doesn't have half the brains that Trump does, and Trump doesn't have half the brains of anybody. He's just lucky. He's a cult leader. JD Vance can't lead a cult. He's not going to be a guy that people are going to fall in behind. Trump is a guy who people will blindly fall in behind because he had a TV show.
And when you examine the whys and the profile of Trump, you can't come up with the answer of why he is so influential. Why do people believe him? Why do people follow him? Why do people vote for him? Why do people assume that he's got it right? Why would anyone think that only Donald Trump can fix it? And yet there you have it. Those are the facts. They don't make any sense. Maybe they're not facts. Maybe they're just,
Well, Michael, the more I think about it, the
whatever
more
the
I
word
just
is.
want to think that, you know, we have when we were doing the show on KJR, right? We went to remotes a lot, and we talked to people, and we ran into a lot of people who said, "Oh yeah, I believe everything I heard you talking, and I totally agree with that. I heard you and Vinny talking, I totally agree with that. Or I agree with Michael, or I agree with Vinny. Michael doesn't know what he's talking about, or Vinny doesn't know what he's talking about. But we had that core group of people that listened to what we said, and no matter what we told them, they believed it. I mean, how many people believed that All My Seahawks was real? How many people, would send Christmas cards to Uncle Mush? All these things that we talked about, they just blindly believed them. And even though we have the internet today, it really doesn't make a difference. It's just a tool that people use to influence people as opposed to people looking and seeing if that's what this person's talking about is true or not.
How is Uncle Mush?
So Uncle Mush is all right. I think he's barbecuing I think he's doing a deep fried turkey this year. He's going out to Staten Island. I guess he's gathering up with the Staten Island contingent this year. They're all coming together.
And does that include burning down the garage when he cooks the turkey?
It may happen. It's come close a couple of years. As a matter of fact, they had to move Uncle Mush and his hot oil to the backyard away from the garage a couple of years ago.
Is that his? Is that the name of his? Is that the name of his band when he was in high school?
Uncle Mush in the garage
and the hot oil.
And the hot oil sounds like a good either a band or a massage parlor.
And they did Young Rascal songs.
Yeah, all of these people would believe what we said. Well, Donald Trump, it was the same as us. Really, he's a TV personality, a media personality, who just happened to have a bigger stage and a lot more money, and a lot of bigger, more influential people behind him. So he got into living rooms, and people looked at him and they said, "Gee, I'd love to live that swashbuckling kind of lifestyle." And and the Miss America pageant and the girls and all the things you heard about him. Oh man, Mr. and Mrs. Average America just thought that was so cool, especially Mr. Average America. And so when he decided to turn that presence into something more, I still think he did it as a publicity stunt, that he never really wanted to be president. And all of a sudden,
he's not a natural fit.
right, once it got rolling, then of course he got swept up and he said, look at how much power I have over all of these people. It's a guy that spent his life trying to avoid the people that he now was appealing to. He didn't ride the subway to work.
He didn't want to hang out with people who
go near the people.
Right. People from Queens were of no interest to him.
Yeah, he had 4 bulls, 4 off-duty New York City detectives as bodyguards. You couldn't get near the guy unless you were, under 16 and female.
Jeffrey Epstein got close to him.
Yeah. Or you were, a Miss America or a hot model. You couldn't get near the guy. But all of these people thought that was a cool lifestyle. They looked at guys like Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush and thought that's boring. We've had that before. Look, nothing's happened. So now we'll get, and he was smart enough to throw in a lot of Bernie Sanders. With only in the opposite direction, not as a leftist or a liberal, but as a conservative. And people just looked at him and said, yeah, why not?
And on a week where he's trying to make Vladimir Putin listen to him and help him end the war, turns out the only guy that he's getting along with is the mayor of New York, Mamdani.
Yes, Mamdani is his new best friend. All of a sudden they're hanging out. So
how did that happen?
Well, as I was reading about the peace plan this morning for Ukraine, there's only one thing that came into my mind. Really,
there's no peace involved.
And that was Sudetenland. Kids, go look it up.
Look up Neville Chamberlain.
You'll find
Neville Chamberlain.
Yeah, and you'll find an amazing amount of similarities. I've studied this stuff, this World War II stuff, and what you see here is exactly what was going on back then. You had a madman, a dictator, who wanted more. He wasn't satisfied that he's got the largest landmassive country in the world. He needs more.
And he promised he would get that done.
Wasn't that Chamberlain's quote? This agreement will bring us peace in our time. And in a few months, he was bringing that peace to Poland. In a few months, he was bringing more months. He was bringing that peace to Austria. And a few more months, and he was bringing that peace to France. And they loved it in France.
Don't forget Belgium. They did Belgium too.
Belgium, yeah. You just go right across Europe. The only people that had the balls to stand up to him were the Brits. People with notoriously small balls. So, and he beat and beat and beat and beat the shit out of the British. And they just said, well, it's the price we got to pay. And it's lucky that the British had that attitude because we were sitting over here trying to be isolationists. People forget that Charles Lindbergh I don't forget, they weren't around for it, but you had a guy named Charles Lindbergh whose biggest claim to fame was piloting an airplane.
Or that he was a Nazi sympathizer.
Or that he was a person who said that, these Nazis might have the right idea. And Henry Ford, who said that these Nazis might have the right idea. As a matter of fact, they have such a right idea that we're not going to build any weapons and sell them to the people that are fighting the Nazis.
Why should we help them?
Why should we help them? That's their business. They're over in Europe. Except when Britain falls, then all you have is an ocean between New York and Washington.
An ocean full of U-boats.
Yeah, an ocean full of boats that'll blow anything out of the water. So, and there's similarities there. That's what I'm not trying to give you a history of World War II. I'm just trying to give you a history of that this movie was shown in black and white 80 years ago, and now we're seeing it in color.
You can't expect Marco Rubio or Donald Trump to learn anything from Neville Chamberlain.
Well, they probably couldn't tell you. I'd give you 500 to 1 that you could call Marco Rubio up right now on his cell phone and ask him, don't look at any computer or anything, who's Neville Chamberlain? And he have no freaking idea. Nothing. Wouldn't know anything. But
he was the original host of Jeopardy.
No, that was Winston Churchill, wasn't it?
He was the guest host.
Neville, I thought, was concentration.
Well, as long as it wasn't the $1 million pyramid.
Yeah, I really used to. I got to tell you, I really loved when concentration was a mechanical game before they had video screens, and they
the
moved
boxes turned
and they clicked.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought that was almost the coolest part of the show.
You had to guess. You had to remember where the different parts of the
right. Henceforth, the name concentration. Could you imagine them trying to play that sort of game today?
We can't concentrate anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be 2 minutes, 2 second attention span. There'd have to be 2 squares on the board. Never happened. Now you have to dump fuel oil on somebody and light them on fire for it to be a game show.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of danger, else people won't watch it. That's a game show. People go to watch now the blowing up of the balloons in New York on Columbus Avenue, not Columbus, on Central Park West there, because many years ago, not too that many years ago, a couple of balloons blew up. One flew away. And
who flew away? Was it Bullwinkle or somebody?
Yeah, it was one of the older balloons. Yeah, it was Underdog, I think it might have been. I think it might have been Underdog. Flew away. And
I come to save the day.
Yeah. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. And Polly Purebred, his girlfriend. And so now people go the day before the Thanksgiving Day parade on the come that they're going to see a balloon blow away or knock somebody down or injure them or do something that they'll be able to get with their cell phones and put on Instagram and go viral. Go figure.
Depends on who the balloon is, though. These balloons have spirits and an atmospheric signature that lets them know that each one has a different personality. And if it happens to be Bullwinkle and Rocky, you'd rather have Rocky fly away than Bullwinkle because he's so damn big. He landed in Central Park and caused quite a stir.
Knocked Bette Midler down playing softball. Because
she's
probably out there this time of year, swinging the bat. So, anyway, but the parade, I love the parade. I get up.
Did you ever go?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I was lucky enough to have a friend that worked for Macy's. So I got actually a couple of times got tickets to sit in the reviewing stand. and that was really neat. That was a very cool. I didn't get into the VIP viewing stand, but I got into the regular viewing stand with the employees and stuff, and that was special. I got to take Aaron, and
Were you drinking Bloody Marys with Anderson Cooper? Or
no, but I did bring a flask. I thought it was a good idea because it was
it,
it was mortally cold,
very cold and often windy?
right? And my first parade I saw from sitting on a walk don't walk sign in front of Rocky Graziano's pizza place on, was it 7th or Broadway? What did it go down? 7th. I think it was 7th Avenue. And I got there early in the morning and I perched myself. I got a couple of, I got a bacon and egg on roll and a couple of donuts and a coffee. And I climbed up onto this, those walk don't walk signs.
That's not easy to get up there.
No, I was younger and more spry. I probably was about 18 years old then. And I just sat up on top of that thing all day for the whole parade. And it was great. I had like a bird's eye view of everything. Was it great? As a matter of fact, I remember Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons were one of the acts marching in the parade on some float.
Was that a bird's eye view or a Boyd's eye view?
Well, that was a bird's eye view because I was, as I said, I was in front of one of he had several, one of Rocky Graziano's pizzerias, which was a big thing back then. Before Ray's Pizza, there was Rocky Graziano's pizza place.
Rocky Graziano had a steakhouse in Miami.
I think he had a bunch of places. He had like a small chain of steakhouses, didn't he? Yeah, he was very active in his time. He was
He was a
he
fighter.
was like Peyton Manning is today. He was on everything. He went through a period where he was the spokesman for
For
everything.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, DiMaggio was only always cool because he had one product. He had Mr. Coffee, and that was his thing, and he did that. And people made fun of him, but he made some big bank with that. Um, Graziano was selling Dannon yogurt. You had pizza places. He had steakhouses. He had a toy. I think for a while his name was on the Rock'em Sock'em Robots or something like that, something similar to that. No, Rocky Graziano. Go look back in the '60s. He was as around as much as Peyton Manning or George Foreman or Cassius Clay didn't come on till later and never really got, or Muhammad Ali never got
He didn't do endorsements.
the endorsements. Well, nobody really for a long time didn't want him. I mean, don't forget, Cassius Clay was considered a criminal for much of his career. And in those days, people didn't hire criminals. But he was considered, because of his refusal to participate in the draft, was considered a criminal, and no companies would touch him. I mean, the greatest boxer, you can make an argument, the greatest boxer ever. And he didn't get a tiny amount of the endorsements that he potentially could have got if he, went along and got along, as they used to say. But
Well, that was not his way.
no, he was somebody that said, you know what, I don't believe in this war. My religion doesn't
Vietnamese
allow
people
me.
are not my enemies.
These people are not my enemies. I don't know. I got nothing against them. What do I want to go fight them for? The pay isn't enough. Um, And
What am I defending? I'm defending a country that doesn't include me in its future.
yeah, and for that he took it. He lost a lot, as much as he had, and as much as in his late. And by the time he got to his later years, like George Foreman did, um,
He was beloved.
Parkinson's disease had kind of taken over, and
Which he received as a bonus for the work that he did.
yeah,
His job provided him with a neurological disease that had no cure or treatment.
yeah. So, as much as we immortalize Muhammad Ali, his story, I think, is a sad story. I mean, it really is. And it's again, he came up in a time where there were still a lot of people who considered you a chicken if you didn't go to war. If you didn't, the Vietnam War was going on, and he just he wasn't buying it. So, and luckily, he had some heavyweight people that defended him. Most notably, Howard Cosell, who stood behind him. But you had Nixon, and Nixon, Trump is where Nixon set the groundwork for Trump. I mean, Nixon had an enemies list. I mean, he didn't carry out most of the things that he wanted to do, but he had a pretty intense list of what he wanted to do.
He had an enemies list.
Yeah. Well, yeah, except that he just couldn't act on, or you had a Congress that just wouldn't let him act on a lot of that stuff, and some people that held him in check. But you also had a lot of people that didn't hold him in check.
Well, thank God Donald Trump learned from that and has a Congress that doesn't get in the way.
Right.
Doesn't participate as a Congress per se.
Yeah, kids, you may not know this, but there was a time when Congress would stop things that are going on.
Checks and balances was an idea that has since become quaint.
Well, again, I'll go back to the people who look at Donald Trump as a TV, as a god and not a politician, but a god from television, and they're going to let him do it. And
or goddess,
whatever he is. But the good thing is that Donald Trump is showing his age. He's I don't know. I look at him and seem to see him declining rapidly.
Yeah, he's been caught off first base and not paying attention to. He didn't know where the ball was. He wandered off first base.
I mean, just look at him. Just look at his physical. I mean, he just looks. You know how you always look at a president? The president looks, 20 years older in the space of 8 years.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's hit his 20, and he's hitting the gas after it. I mean, he looks like he's pushing 90. Dick Van Dyke looks in better shape than Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway,
I was going to mention the death of Jimmy Cliff today.
Yes.
Apropos of nothing that we've talked about, except that he was before Bob Marley, and he had to make reggae hits that were pop hits, and he did a good job with the content and the fact that he was involved with the Harder They Come, which was a very successful movie and a soundtrack, and the groups like the Melodians and Toots and the Maytals and Jimmy Cliff all became part of that reggae revolution of the 70s.
Yeah.
And he deserves mention because he had a great distinctive voice and good material.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first reggae artist to appear on Saturday Night Live when he appeared with Mick Jagger and Rolling Stones on Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
Um, well, I know he wasn't the first reggae artist to appear on national TV because I know that Johnny Nash and Millie Small were on before him, both who had hits, and both were reggae, came from that reggae soca Caribbean world. But he certainly was the most accessible. Certainly was the most. If you learned about reggae music, chances are you learned it off a Jimmy Cliff record of some kind. And yeah, and I won't say single handedly, but he spearheaded the movement of bringing that music into the mainstream. And I just thought, yeah. I mean, I loved listening to his stuff. I'll never say I was a big. I was much more of a soca and that kind of, a lot of horns and a lot of stuff. That kind of stuff. Mighty Sparrow and those guys but
Ska bands.
yeah, ska bands and that stuff. But definitely, well, Jimmy Cliff paved the way again for those bands to move into the mainstream by the late '70s. I remember when a lot of people talked about rock and roll dying and reggae taking over as the kind of the main music. I don't know if that ever happened,
I don't think
but
so.
but there was a strong influence, and he was at the head of it. He was the one, the artist who um really just made it mainstream, and got, and like you say, that Harder They Come, that was a great movie, a great peek into that world, and a lot of people like what they heard.
Yes.
It got you. It was good getting stoned music, Michael. Is really what it was. I mean, they wrote for the spliff. Yeah, yeah. They wrote for the spliff, and they wrote for the getting stoned. So, some people. Joe Cocker wrote "Let's Go Get Stoned." Jimmy Cliff wrote "We're There Already." Now what do we do?
We're a step ahead of you.
Yeah, we got stoned yesterday. We are stoned today. What do we do about tomorrow so we don't get arrested?
Where are you? We're at the party already.
Yeah, exactly. I'm drinking the nectar of the gods today. Chocolate milk.
There's no caffeine in it.
No caffeine, no artificial growth hormones, just good old fashioned Dairy Gold chocolate milk. And unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I love chocolate milk in a bottle, but I couldn't find the bottle. So
I mean, a big glass bottle like a milk container.
yeah, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
like they used to leave at your door.
Sure.
I mean, it's like $7, a container, but every once in a while, and the stuff
Gotta
is so
have it.
good. It's like drinking a milkshake without having to put the ice cream in or anything. It's just good. Now, what are your Thanksgiving plans?
Kristen and I are going to Woodland Hills to Kailani and Steve's house. It'll be us and the kids for Thanksgiving, and Kailani is cooking. We've never done it quite this way before with all the different combinations of relatives around. Usually it was at one house or another, but this year it's going to be just simplified to the Knights and the Mushes together. We'll have the whole family organized somewhere for Christmas. I don't know where,
Nice. Yeah, we're trying to figure that all out now. Um, Christmas, that is. While we're all together for Thanksgiving, we're trying to figure out if they want to take this trip up again. My sister, as I said it earlier in the show, is up here. Now,
She likes to come to Seattle.
I don't know particularly that she does. I think she likes to have Christmas at her house. To be honest with you, I usually
Yeah.
go down there, but um, for some reason, my ex-wife came up both Christmas. Usually, I go down one and stay up one because Erin's here, my daughter, and I want to be with her at Christmas and at Thanksgiving, or at least one of them. And for some reason, Judy decided she wanted to come up for both holidays this year, and Mary Ann decided to come up too, my sister and her husband, and so they're all up here, and I kind of like it
Yeah,
that they're up here.
of course.
Although, my sister's house is really nice, so I kind of like going down there, going there and kind of hanging out, and it's in warmer weather, so that makes it extremely nice
Yeah.
because I to this day I admit that I'm kind of getting done with the cold and rain and the stuff, the
Yeah.
elements up here. That retirement home in Palm Springs is starting to look better and better all the time. If I can get a
Well,
job,
that's something to be thankful for, Vinny, that there is a Palm Springs option.
well, I don't know that there is one yet, but we'll see. We'll have to figure it out. But you look around and you go. I mean, I love Seattle, and I have a lot of good friends and stuff up here. But you know, uh, the weather is not doing me any good. Between getting me depressed
Not
and
doing you any favors.
exactly, I have to up my depression medicine this time of year. Now, where do you fall on this big controversy? There's a controversy about Thanksgiving going.
I'm unaware of a controversy that is.
Oh, see, Michael, you got to keep up on the controversies. You got to you
What do
got
you
to
think?
spend more hours on Facebook, social media.
The controversy is based on what?
Ham or turkey? There seems to
No, it's
be a
not. It's not a
growing
controversy.
movement of
It's not even a discussion.
evidently now, and evidently this is on the East Coast, I guess, more than on the West Coast. But evidently there is a large contingent of generation whatevers who are cooking for the first time, or their parents have let them out of the house for the first time, or they got an apartment with roommates, and all of a sudden, remember a few years ago it was the tofu turkey, tofurkey. Well, now it's ham. Ham is seems to be, especially like I said, in the New York area, um, seems to be a thing. Seems to be a thing for a lot of people.
What would you do for the day after Thanksgiving? Rather have a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich with gravy and dressing and lettuce and cranberry?
Well,
Please.
we're going out to eat, but yet I'm cooking a breast of turkey so that we have.
Trader Joe's has got a great half breast. It's I call it half turkey. It's
Yeah,
just the breast. It takes an hour and it's delicious.
I will be picking one up today and putting it in the so because you know what, Thanksgiving morning I need the smell of the turkey.
Yeah.
I love, there's just something about that smell. It says, okay, the holidays are here.
Mashed
Uh,
potatoes and dressing and what else do you need?
yeah, some yams. Um, I got cranberry sauce, and the biggest trouble I have finding really is white bread. It's hard to find white bread because those sandwiches taste best on white bread. Just plain old Wonder Bread, elasticy.
Because it's just the combination.
Yeah, it's white bread. It's the way it's. It's how you grew up, you know. I mean, when we were growing up, we didn't have 9 types of bread. You had Wonder Bread. You went to the store and bought. Now, maybe in California, down the end of the aisle, they had some aisles of whole wheat, but it really was just darkened white bread.
And rye.
And yeah, and of course you had, but I never, unless you were in a Jewish deli, I never ordered a turkey on rye. For some reason, uh, a turkey on Grossinger's rye bread with just mayo or Russian dressing. Russian dressing is really the way to
Hmm.
go with the turkey on rye. Something about the rye seeds, the rye bread, and the Russian dressing,
Yeah,
the way it sits on the turkey.
I'll have
Uh,
one.
yeah, I'll go for one. You can go down to Pat's Delicatessen or the Second Avenue Deli and get one of those sandwiches that will you know, just blow you away. I mean, the thing is,
What you don't see so much that you would see in New York is a proper deli will have every day of the year a turkey that they carve from when they make their turkey sandwiches. You order a turkey on rye, they have cooked a turkey. It's on the backboard and they're carving it for your
yeah.
sandwich every day.
In Seattle too.
And I used to have a deli, 72nd Street Deli, 72nd and Broadway, and they would make turkey and pastrami.
Mm.
My God, what a simple, fabulous invention. Turkey pastrami on rye. Big sandwich comes delivered from the deli. It's cut and it's already coming apart because there's just so much good stuff in it that it can't be. They wrapped it just to keep it together until it got to your door. But a fantastic sandwich and so well made, and the ingredients were so reliable and so well done. I salute the 72nd Street Deli every time I think of turkey and pastrami.
We had a deli on 69th and First, the Colony Deli, not to be confused with the Colony Deli that was in Jackson Heights. There was a great deli in Jackson Heights called the Colony Deli as well. It was off the charts, and they had the same thing. They had the table right up front, the steam table right up front when you walked in the door, and there was the turkey and the pastrami and the corned beef
Yeah.
and the stuffed derma and everything just sitting in the table.
Ready to go. What do you
And
need?
it was like and the knishes and the hot dogs on a hot griddle. Um, I love the dirt water hot dogs, but a hot dog wasn't a hot dog if it didn't snap when you bit into it. A la Nathan's, those kosher hot dogs that they used to cook on that griddle was uh, was something otherworldly. I mean, again, I love the dirt water hot dogs. Don't get me wrong, but those Hebrew Nationals cooked on that griddle, and just with a slab of mustard and some sauerkraut, or mustard and relish, and what anything like
Pickle relish.
yeah, what anything like it. And you'd see the guy in the back. He'd be sitting at a table in the back, dicing up the pickles to make the relish. They didn't go out and buy Heinz relish. They made the relish there. They made the Russian there. They made all that stuff. It was all made in house. No preservatives. No nothing. All of it was right there. Unbelievable.
Delicious.
What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving? I mean, I'm sure that this has been a crazy year, man.
Well, it's nice to still be here.
Yeah,
And so that's the biggest element. Kristen's got a new knee, so we're thankful for that. Going to
that's
be,
good.
she's walking without a walker, and
Wonderful. Well, her
she,
spirit, you can't keep her down. I mean,
um,
I knew that walker you were going to be giving that to charity, pretty quickly.
the concept of family gets more important every year, and we have grandkids now that are 10 and 7, so it's uh, it's a good time for them. They're excited about school and life and little league, and consequently, we get re-excited over those concepts too. And Kennedy, the oldest, the girl, is doing a lot of theater, so she's preparing for 2 shows right now. And in December, we'll see her on stage again in 2 different shows. So
Hey,
there's a lot to look forward to,
yeah, a
and
lot to be thankful for. You
we're
know,
we're lucky.
yeah, yeah,
How about
yeah.
you, Ben?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with family. It just
Yeah.
becomes more important. Both your immediate family that's around you and your extended family. Um, you know, you let things slide that maybe you wouldn't have 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. You say, you know what? This little piddly shit that we used to fight about or argue about isn't worth it. The clock is ticking. Um, we had a bit of well, not a bit of a scare with my sister this year, and it's tough. It just makes you re-examine how thankful you are that you have family, because you think about so many people that don't, and so many people who don't have any contact with their family.
Yeah, my sister Diana's coming down for the shows in early December, so she'll be
Great.
here. She'll be here relatively soon.
Yeah, it's so I'm thankful for the realization of that. I'm thankful and I'm thankful. Listen, I'm thankful I'm alive. Thankful I got a roof over my head, and it's not. I saw a quote from, I think it was Louis C.K., who's kind of on that road to coming back from all of the Me Too stuff that he got accused of. And one of the things that he was quoted is, he had an article in the Times the other day, and he was quoted as saying, and I'm paraphrasing it now, um, what do you do after you're famous? You've lived this life where you've had all of these advantages and all of this great stuff that's happened to you. And then,
Chasing fame.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it goes away. All of a sudden and in our case, I mean, we both had really good runs and I don't want to call it famous, but we were people of note in 2 different cities, 3 different cities, really. And you you know you and now you don't have that anymore. I mean, we do this, and it's limited audience, but you don't have it's not the same. You don't get, somebody doesn't walk up to you and ask you for your autograph, or sit down and try to talk to you about a show or this or that or the other thing. And it, you don't believe it, but it takes some adjusting to get used to. And I'm it's been tough to adjust, for me to adjust, and I'm thankful that I'm finally getting there and finally saying, well, there's life outside of that life. That what do? You live life like a normal person.
Like a placement.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't have. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's hard to explain, but you just live life. Um, you live life. You talk to people more. You get involved in stuff more. You're kind to the people. You just and that's. I'm thankful for the people out there that are kind. The people that are still left, that haven't gone over to that evil side. of, not caring about other people, just caring about themselves. I'm thankful for those people, the people that hold doors and the people that smile at other people and that kind of stuff. I'm really thankful for that, and I'm thankful that, again, for my kid and my sister, my family back east. Just thankful that I have a family to call and talk to, and I'm thankful for the people that listen to us. I'm thankful for the people that do listen,
Yes, of course. Yes.
and the people that that have. I mean, we have people that have stuck with us for years, that listen to this show and drive time, and I'm thankful that I still figure out how to get a new car every week. It's I used to think that I had a great scam when I got free records.
And you did.
And it was. But this this niche of entertaining people by doing something I love with cars, has turned into a lot of fun for me, and a lot of it's enabled me to converse with people and talk to people about cars, and talk to them about my
Mm.
love of cars. It's been really cool.
Drive an Audi A6.
Driving an Audi A6 is not a bad thing, and they're taking the Audi today and dropping off a Mazda, and who am I to complain? You know. Matter of fact, there's the guy.
There's Mr. Mazda calling in. See how do you like the car?
Exactly. Let me just put him on silent for a second.
Well, Vinny, have a great day tomorrow. Have a great
Well,
meal.
you too. Happy
Enjoy,
Thanksgiving.
enjoy
I'm
all
gonna,
the friends and family.
yes, I will. You too. Give the kids and Kailani and Steve a hug for me. Um, I'm not going to be here Friday morning. I'm going to be taking my sister to the airport. So,
So
uh,
Friday's a holiday, a paid holiday,
yeah, Friday. Yeah, Friday's a paid holiday. We matter of fact, we get double time on Friday for not
and
working.
and we deserve it.
Yeah, and then I'll have drive time on Saturday, which I don't have to drive anybody to the airport, and we'll have our good friend John Vincent from U.S. News and World Report on, talking about probably what he's thankful for as well. So there it
Do
is.
you know off the top of your head what car is selling the best in the United States right now?
Toyota RAV4. Yes, the Toyota RAV4 has edged the Ford F-150 as
Um,
the um, best-selling car in the United States right now. As a matter of fact, I think out of the top 10, see if I got this right, out of the top 10 best-selling cars in the United States, I think 7 of them are Toyotas.
wow,
So they've become the General Motors um,
of our time.
of our time. Yeah, yeah. Well, they make good cars that um, last a long time.
And the
A
Rav
couple,
Four costs what, 40,000?
well, yeah, RAV4, yeah, a little bit more, probably a little closer to 50. For a nicely equipped one, but you can find them for in the 30s, they're the high 30s, for kind of a stripped down one, that doesn't have every amenity in it, which is something you're going to see, I think, coming up is cars
The
that
stripped
don't
down
have
version.
all of the stuff in it, but yet a transportation cost to get you from point A to point B.
Get you to school and back.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what America's going to be looking for. If I have a prediction for the next year, and we'll do that with John on Saturday. But I think that the car business is going to you're going to see lower prices on cars, because people aren't going to have all of the stuff that they think they need. Leather seats and this and that. Cloth seats are going to make a big comeback.
Don't forget undercoating.
Uh, you know, not cheaply, mate. Just all entertain. I mean, you may even see the comeback of the MP3 player in cars. What's old will be new again. Mikey, I'll see you on Monday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Have a good weekend.
You too. Have a great meal tomorrow. We'll see you soon.
You too. My love to Kristen, and take care, my friend. Peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
It's quite a wine, and it goes reasonably well with turkey and dressing.
Oh, before I go, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot this. Manischewitz has a food truck in New York.
And it's just, you drive up and is it like a tasting room for wine?
No, it's because Manischewitz has other products as well. They have a whole line of Jewish and kosher food. They now have a food truck. So you can get Manischewitz knishes and Manischewitz soup. And I'm gonna have to do a little more research on this, but I saw it yesterday. I saw somebody at the Manischewitz food truck, and
good idea. Good marketing idea.
I think a trip to New York is in order to hunt down this food truck and see what they got.
Pull it over, give them a ticket, have lunch.
Have lunch. Man on Manischewitz, what a truck!
I told you.
See you on Friday. On Monday. Take care. Thank you all, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good one.
Indeed. Happy birthday.